Okay, so let's talk about an intro and an outro. It'll probably be kind of the same idea. It's a couple ideas merged into one. You just, our basic thing, the forest, like we talked about, the zoomed out kind of obvious rhythm. We can talk about you could fill that rhythm up in a couple ways. You could fill it up with even more rhythmic hits, or you can fill it up with a melody. So I came up with a simple melody for an intro for you. So and then you're into the verse. So let me play that again. Oh. Okay, so then how can we fill it up rhythmically, and melodically? Rhythmically just means so it just means adding in some strums to fill it up, some downs and some ups, keeping it really light though. So let's try to do both rhythmic fills with melodic fills for an intro or an outro. Something like that. So it's really important, even though the tab has everything very strict and straight, it is that by definition because it's like written down. It seems like it's very codified, like a Hammurabi text or something, but it's not. It's music's not like that, and you can definitely play this how you want. You can basically not do any of my suggestions. You'll still sound good as long as you stick to the forest, like we talked about, of just the idea that you've got to play the melody and you've got to play the basic chords with that rhythm and that treatment of like kind of the Chet Atkins style. Jingle bells, jingle bells. You have to sound like that just on the guitar, I'm kind of gonna play it pretty straight, as like a direct reading of what I wrote, but I can't help but kind of add some rhythmic fill sometimes, meaning like maybe an extra strum or something, and maybe some slides around and things like that. That it's not quite in there, but so here it goes. So here's the verse. Okay, so it's not perfect, but um, you know, with some practice, you can get things really crispy and tight how you would really want to play it. To not make this video too long, let's see. Some of the important things here are some of the chord changes and some of the techniques. So let's take it kind of part by part. right there, I do this, like the Giuliani D minor with F in the bass. I strum it, and then right after I strum, I pluck 3 strings, D, G, and B, like. The G7 over B is just this shape, like this. A B and an F at the same time. And then your pinky would play that D. It's the melody. So, and you can see how the melody hits right before the bass note pretty clearly there. So then, missing the melody. So. Just make sure right after you slap that C, hurry up and go do this. I do it like a bar. I bar the 3rd fret, and then I do 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and this note's under the bar. Oops. I know, like, you're able to kind of read some of this stuff. Just don't forget that you don't have to do any of the cool stuff at all. You know, you can just stick to like C, F, and G chords. You don't have to do all of these chords. Alright, so let me try to play this chorus now. So that was kind of an example of the chorus going into the intro. Let me play the chorus again. Once again, you don't have to do all the extra stuff. I can barely play it. I had to practice up a lot of that. This will be kind of a, you know, go between kind of what you've been doing with the basic chords, and maybe you could add some of this if you want. It's there, it's written. When I'm performing what I'm reading, I find that I'm improvising a little bit where the melody falls in relation to that downbeat or a bass note, because usually a bass note with your thumb is on a downbeat, you know. So sometimes I'm not quite following exactly this paper. Anytime you have something kind of hard, you can just you don't have to, you know, do it if you're worried about not having it ready. But let's see. That's new. Throwing in those fills. You know, the first hit, that G, because that open string, because it's an upbeat, my hand before that has fallen down, so like so the first hit is a pluck like this, up. So you could hit that with your thumb. And that's just fills. You can take it out. It'll still sound good. That's new. A minor, G over B, C. Yep. That's new. It's just stuff that I kind of hear when I'm actually sitting down to play, you know. C, G over B. You could do, oh, this says C7 over E, so you could actually do, just strum all the strings with the C7 chord. And then F. Remember to change and anticipate that change because it's so hard. That's where I leave the F chord. It should be, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey. Something like that. You just want to hear. It's almost like then half a C chord or something you could do. You could leave the D down, like. It's kind of tough to get that really fast, but it's just to hear. You could even do that, just open strings. And that's just to provide a variation. Okay, so the last part to talk about is the form or the structure, and it just kind of all depends on how long you want to be up there, but to keep it nice and short, you could just plan on doing an intro to a verse to a chorus and then to an intro again as like an outro. If you wanted to play something short, if you wanted to extend your playtime a little more, maybe you would repeat the chorus again after the intro, or just the whole thing again. It's very easy. It's kind of up to us on Friday what we want to do. I would say, Jacob, the most important thing is the rhythm and the melody and the basic chords. It's up to you how much fancy stuff, different chords and stuff you want to throw in there. It's still going to sound really good if you just kind of keep things simple. It's still going to sound really good as long as you play the melody and the basic chords. So what is it? Never lose the forest for the trees, right? Don't be so focused on details that the listener doesn't understand just the basic like groove and melody, you know.